has been today is actually the climax of Love and Career Affair Conference 2020. And trust me, if you have been on this conference, if you have joined us so far, you can say so far, so better, not so good. The beginning was good, then it proceeds to be better. So for the climax, my expectation is so far, so best. And I know that you are also expecting same. And trust me, you are not going to be disappointed. If you are a participant here and today happens to be your first time of joining us, you've missed a lot. But all the same, it's not too late. You're going to have great fun tonight, and you're going to learn a lot. I want to remind us that this program has been able to proceed this far due to the kind courtesy of our great sponsors, Belaqua Mineral Water, Realtalk with Sandra, and AJ Willz Media, Blaqsheep Multimedia, and HitzAfrik Radio UK. They deserve a round of applause for such a support. And the main people, the main organization behind this great work has been Citylife Management, led by our very own leader, Miss Mackenzie Moore. She also deserves a very round of an applause. So far, so better, like I said. Tonight, it's going to be very hot. We have an awesome speaker. I would like to give her all the time. So I will say something brief about her, and so you know what to expect. This person is not just an ordinary. Trust me. I guess you are all ears, right? She is an event entrepreneur with an over 8 years experience in event management and planning. She runs an event company called Rose Petals Events. She also is a certified relationship strategist, or you can say coach, with over 5 years experience, and a women empowerment motivational speaker. Oh, there's going to be a lot here tonight. She is a J9 domestic abuse awareness and hate crime advocate. Oh,
Hey.
Eventual people are taught how to build beautiful, healthy relationships and marriages by emphasizing on values. She runs women's empowerment virtual group called Rob Moms Connect, a virtual community which connects with mothers and wives to explore ideas on how to build amazing relationships with their children and husbands, businesses, and opportunity. Going to the last paragraph about her, you will like it. She is passionate about helping people rediscover their identities, motivates them to build healthy relationships, marriage, and lets them be a better version of themselves. Since she believes that it is vital to create visible role models for people to look up to, so too they might have the confidence to believe in themselves. With so much portfolio, with so much in her portfolio and so much experience to share with us tonight, please, if we can unmute ourselves.
Hey.
Thank you. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Your voice went off.
Oh, that was so bad. Oh, and nobody told me.
We were getting ready to mute ourselves so that we can.
So did we really hear? Did we really hear the great portfolio I read out.
We are about to just start clapping for Sandra. So with a round of
Please
applause,
yeah, of course. Please, let's clap for her. She really likes that, to give her some enthusiasm, right? Yeah. We are with you, Auntie Sandra, tonight. We're expecting something very educative and interactive. And people, she's going to speak about how to build, she's going to speak on the key to a happy marriage. I believe we all want to get married. I'm not married yet, and I'm looking forward to that because I want my marriage to be really fantabulous. I don't know about you. So. So, Auntie Sandra, the floor is yours. But please, we are reminded that after 40 minutes, the session will go off and we'll be coming back again. And it's the same link. Don't go off. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Do share the link with your friends if you haven't. If you don't, you can always write in the chat box. We will just deal with it for you so that we have a fantastic evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christabel. Your welcoming is awesome, and thank you everyone for jumping on as well. And like she said, it's going to be amazing, but I want it to be at a point, I want it to be interactive where you can ask questions and then we get on with it. I don't want it to be just me doing all the talking, but if for now you can all mute yourself and then I get on with it, and after some time you can unmute if you want to and ask me questions, or you can type it out and we would try and read it and help with whatever questions that you have. Thank you so much, Mikasia. Thank you everyone for having me. Like she said, my name is Sandra Delali. I don't think I'm a stranger to most of you because of Auntie Emma, AJ Willz, and of course Realtalk. I think I'm getting to know people through Realtalk, where they meet me in town, like, I follow you. I'm like, oh wow, I'm becoming very popular. I'm becoming like a celebrity through Realtalk. Anyway, we're talking this evening about keys to a happy marriage. And I know that, like Christabel says, she's single, so she would love to get married someday. And so she needs the keys to help her unlock those doors, the doors to happy marriage. Marriage is beautiful. I've been married for 17 years to the same man. I've dated him for 18 years. Reason being that I dated him for over a year before I got married to him. So, and I'm still dating him, okay? We haven't stopped dating yet, so I'm still dating him. We've dated for 18 years, married for 17. I've got 3 amazing daughters, and they're like my sisters. We get on very well, and I'm teaching them to be better women, helping them to be successful in whatever they want to do with the help of God. So let's get cracking. Sorry, I think my screen is reflecting on my glasses, so just bear with me a little bit, okay? I think it's my light as well. Anyway, ignore the glaring on my glasses and just listen to me if you will. So yeah, keys to a successful marriage. Marriage is beautiful. Marriage is honorable. Marriage is ordained by God. Marriage is supposed to be one man, one wife, as we know it. So yeah, that is the whole thing. Marriage is when a man leaves his father and mother and cleaves to his wife, that the two shall become one. Marriage is not when it's 50-50. Marriage is 100% from each side. Marriage is not about the wedding. It's not about the ceremony. It is about the nitty-gritty of life. It is the relationship between a man and his wife. The children become the icing on the cake. But how do you maintain the flame that so got you attracted? How do you keep the spark going? How are you able to maintain the love that you have for each other after the honeymoon period has passed? And usually when you are in the honeymoon period, that is when you are on the highs of the highs, where adrenaline flows through you, that if care is not taken, you can even jump a wall just to see the love of your life. But what happens after the adrenaline is gone? What happens after you can still see the wall and like, nah, I'm not jumping that for you? But there are certain rules and regulations as I put it, that can help you to cultivate that beautiful relationship that you started, that could maintain the attraction that you saw in each other prior to getting married? What made you kind of like gel? What made you connect? What were the mundane things that you were doing for the person prior to getting married? And normally I say that the mundane things is what actually keeps the relationship going. The little things, the minute things, the things that you think it doesn't matter is actually what actually matters. And so in order for me not to sound, cliche, because I'm talking about the mundane things, is that we need to lay down rules. We need to unlock certain doors. We need to open up certain windows in order for fresh air to come into the room. If not, the room is going to be still. And these are the kind of keys that we'll be talking about this evening, so that we all are aware of what we can expect when it comes to building a healthy and beautiful marriage and relationship with our spouses. Listen, marriage is not smooth sail every time. Marriage is not sunshine every day. Marriage has got its ups and downs. It's got its highs of highs and lows of lows. It's got all the seasons. We've got 4 seasons, and I think marriage sometimes goes through all the 4 seasons as well. It goes through the winter period, it goes through the spring, it has the summer, and it's got the autumn and the winter again. So it's a cycle. But just as you're able to go through all the seasons when it comes, so should you be able to go through all the seasons when it comes to marriage. And normally I say that marriage or a relationship is not one size fits all. What might work for you might not work for me. What might work for me might not work for you. But there are certain clear-cut rules that you can't do without. And without those, your marriage will not stand the test of time. It will get to a point where it will become stale. It will get to a point where you don't even think it can work anymore. It will get to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm done because I'm tired. But if you're able to have these keys that we're going to talk about this evening, trust me, you will have a successful marriage, and you can be with the love of your life till death do you part. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen because I wrote certain things down for us. Bear with me while I share my screen with you so we talk about them. Oh gosh, screen gone. Bear with me. Oh, I think I'm leaving that. Okay, so please allow me to share my screen. Gosh, where is it? Cancel. Don't know why it's doing that to me today. That's strange. Oh, just when you need it, huh? It's my, oh, gosh. Sorry about that. I don't know why my screen is trying to play me up. The things I need you to see is not allowing me to see, but hey, we will get through that. I just want you to know it so that if you want to, you can. If not, what I would do is that, because I know it already, oh gosh, it's just taking me all over. This is strange. Why is it doing this? Okay, just bear with me, okay? Okay, I think I got it now. Let's see what it will do this time. In my documents, let's see if it would allow me to share my screen now. That's strange. Do you know what? I can't even find my, It's very, very strange. Today of all days. Oh my goodness. And I sent it earlier this evening to Emma, and I can't even find it. Honestly, this is sad. Anyway, I would just talk you through it, but whilst I'm talking, I will still try and see if I can get it. I mean, sometimes technology plays with that sometimes, but hey. Oh dear. Okay, let's see if I can find it. Okay, if not, let me just talk, and whilst I still look for it, okay. The number one.
That's fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was saying that's fine. We are with you. We understand this technology.
Yes. You. It's strange. It's very, very strange. It's very, very strange. But hey, don't worry. I'll still talk you through it, and if I'm able to share the screen, I mean, those of you that want to take screenshots of it, you can. If not, you just go with it. We'll go with the flow, okay? And so the number one thing that I wanted to talk about this evening is communication. In order for you to have a beautiful relationship, one of the keys to a loving marriage is your communication. Communication in the sense that if you don't talk, we don't know. And so you need to talk, you need to tell me what you're going through, you need to tell me how you're feeling, you need to let me know how I've offended you. If you don't talk, you don't know. If you don't talk, you only assume. And if you assume, I'm telling you, you will always get it wrong. And so in order for you not to get it wrong, the number one thing that you need to do is that you communicate. Communication is the tool. Communication is the key. Communication is what will keep the relationship going. When you're upset, you need to say it. When you're happy, you need to say it. When you're sad, you need to say it. And so communication is like the clear cut, the blueprint into any and every beautiful relationship. You are not a mind reader, and so you wouldn't know what your partner or your spouse is thinking. If you don't talk, you can only assume, and assumptions has destroyed so many relationships because you are assuming that this is what it is, but in actual fact, that is not what the problem is. And so in order for you not to make that mistake, what you have to do is that you communicate. Communication is what brings about the fluid in the relationship. If you don't communicate, or if you have poor communication, what happens is that everything in the relationship suffers. Your intimacy will suffer. Your love life will suffer. Your relationship will suffer. Your interpersonal relationship will suffer. Everything about the relationship suffers without communication. And communication is very broad, but I'll try and simplify it this evening by just giving two keys of communication. That is the talking and the listening. And even in the listening, we have the hearing and we have listening. You can be talking to me, I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening to you. Reason being that I'm not paying attention to you. And so I'm not listening to you, but I'm only hearing you. When it comes to communication, like I said, talking is one. And even when you're talking, you have the place, you have the time, you have the where, you have the why. You can say something that needs to be said, but the timing is wrong. You can say something that needs to be said, but you said it at the wrong place. There has to be something that you need to say, but how you said it, your partner understood it wrongly. And so when it comes to communication, it's very broad. And I normally say that communication skill is a tool that every couple needs to learn. Communication is a skill. It is a tool that every couple need to learn, because without that, you are not going to have a beautiful marriage. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the listening. in order for you to have that good communication, there has to be the talking, there has to be the listening. And even the listening, you don't listen and think, this is what I think she's saying, or this is what I think he's saying. You are listening because this is what is being said. I'm telling you, could you get me a cup of tea? All right. And then you are saying, you to yourself, oh, I think she said she wants a cup of coffee. You only heard me, you didn't listen to me. If you had listened to me, you would have heard that I said, can you make me a cup of tea? And so when it comes to listening, you need to pay attention. And if you don't pay attention, your partner also thinks that you're taking them for granted or you're not interested in what they're saying. Okay. And so all these things you need to know. The next thing I'm going to talk about is trust. Without trust, you're not going anywhere. Without trust is like you sitting in a car without fuel. You can sit in it all day, you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to get to your destination. And so trust is very important when it comes to relate to a good marriage. Trust meaning that I can trust you with my life. I can trust that whatever you said to me is the truth, and I have faith in you. I'm trusting in you because you have made me trust you. The moment trust is broken in a marriage, there are cracks. Trust is very difficult to rebuild because you need to prove yourself over and over and over and over again in order for you to get to the place where your partner thinks that, yes, he or she, let me use the word he or she, okay? I don't want the men to think that it's only men that can't be trusted. But listen, trust is not only about cheating. That's what a lot of people think, that you can't trust somebody because they've cheated. No, trust isn't only about cheating. Trust is you being dishonest. Trust is you not keeping to your time. Trust is you promising me and not doing it. Trust is you telling me one thing and doing the other. These are all things that breaks trust. And so it is not just basically about somebody cheating. That is when you said they've broken your trust. Trust is quite broad. Trust is that I have the faith in you to believe you. I have my heart is open or receptive to that which you're telling me because I know it is the truth. Okay, and so that is trust. Now, I think the next thing I wrote, oh my goodness, I really need to find this. Okay, it might not follow as I did it earlier, but I will just go through it, okay? I think the next thing I wrote was emotional availability. And when we talk about being emotional available, it's where you and your spouse are in tune, you are in sync, you are there, you're there for one another, okay? Any beautiful, loving couple will tell you that if my spouse hurts, I know. If my spouse is ill and I'm out of town or out of the country, I can feel that something is not right with my spouse. Why do they feel that? They do feel that because they are emotionally in tune, because they are emotionally synced. Emotional available is when you can sit at a table or you can just lie down and talk where you know that your heart is at peace. Your heart is at rest, okay? Where you know that your love is secured in the person, where your emotions are not being taken for granted, but where your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings are all being taken care of. And I'm not saying this only for the ladies, men as well. When you are emotionally in tune or in sync with your wife, your emotions are intact, your feelings are being cared for, okay? And so it makes a relationship very, very beautiful because you are emotionally available. I can talk to you, I can tell you everything that I want without being judged, without being what is the word I want to use? Not being thinking that I'm being overly demanding, because sometimes as women, we kind of like want to be pampered a bit. And a man that loves you, who is emotionally available, will just look at you, probably just shake his head and know that, yeah, this girl just needs me. Let me just be there for her. That is when you can tell your husband that, can you go to the kitchen and get me a glass of water? And he won't think that you're taking him for granted. Why? Because he's emotionally available to you. Just like how you are also emotionally available when he needs you. Emotional available is when your intimate levels are on the same. when we talk about intimacy, let me just chip in this. Intimacy is not only about sex. Intimacy is when I am okay with you, when I'm able to open up and let you see my vulnerability, when I'm able to have a very good relationship with you, when I'm able to trust you with my deepest thoughts, with what I'm feeling, with what I'm thinking, with me laying myself bare before you and being intimate with you. Okay, and so when you're emotionally connected or when you're emotionally synced with somebody, it does happen that you are able to have that kind of a good intimate relationship as well with your partner. Now, when it comes to one of the most beautiful keys to any loving marriage, it is sex. And sex is a broad thing, okay? And this evening, we're not going to go into it, but maybe sometime we would have time to talk very much about sex. Now, any loving couple will tell you that they don't struggle to have sex. They don't feel the pinch when it comes to sex. You might not always be available because of maybe you're ill or you're super tired. But even that, I normally say to people that when you're super tired, that is when you need to have sex because it puts you to sleep. When you're very, very tired and you get a good night's sex from your husband, I'm telling you, ladies, you will fall asleep. The reason why people or couples don't enjoy sex as much as they should is because they are not emotionally in sync, because you're angry, because you're upset, because you have things on your mind, because you think that he should be doing this instead of doing that. But if you're on the same platform, if you're on the same level, if you're syncing together, what happens is that sex is the ultimate. Listen, God did not just create sex because he thinks we need to use it to have kids. No. I normally say that God created sex because he wants the man to thrill in his wife. Likewise, he wants the wife to thrill in the husband. There are days when you feel like, I don't really want to do anything. But just the touch of your spouse should send the signal to your brain that my body needs to get ready because I have to enjoy it. There are some times where people say, I don't think any couple can have sex every day. I'm sorry, but people do. And how do they do it? They do it because they are loving each other, because they're forgiving each other, because they are talking, because their intimate levels are okay, because they are not upset. I'm not saying you don't get angry. You will get angry. Listen, no marriage is smooth sail. Like I said from the beginning, there are seasons of life. We have the winter, we have the summer, we have spring, we have autumn. And so we have all the four. And all these four, your marriage will go through. But at every given time, you know how to weather the storm when it comes to sex. Let me tell you something. When you are very upset with your husband, and he comes to you and he wants to make love to you just as a sign of saying, I'm sorry. That is not when you as a wife say, well, I'm upset with you. I'm not doing it. You didn't do this and you want to touch me. I'm sorry. That is when you say, come on, guy, just let's do it. Let's have fun. We'll talk about this later. Okay. And so sex should not be something that is on your to-do list, where you cross it out because you think I've done it. I've done one this week, and so I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm sorry. It doesn't help. Don't put it on your to-do list. Okay? Don't just do it on your to-do list at all. Make it a priority, right? Make it a priority. There are days when even quickies, I'm sure we're all adults on this platform, so I can say it as it is. Okay, there are days when even the quickies before you go to work, you've had your shower, you're dressing up, and just as you think you're okay to go, from nowhere comes your husband, and you're like, oh, I'm even running late. You look at your time and you have 20 minutes late. I'm sorry, that is not when you're saying I'm running late, I can't do it. Just that 5 minutes quickie will it will brighten your day. And so don't just put it as it has to be done when the lights are off, when the curtains are drawn, when my kids are away and so I can't do it. No. If you have a tight schedule, or if you have kids around you and you can't do it the way you want to do it, even the 5 minutes quickies are an excellent tool to any beautiful marriage. And like I said, it's not when you begin to mark scores. It's not when you begin to take things he hasn't done. It's not when you begin to take things she said and she hasn't said. Put that aside. Okay, there's a time and that is when communication is important, because if you don't communicate well, it would affect all these things. If you don't communicate well, I'm sorry, but your sex life is not going to go well, because then your wife or your husband is always going to think that, is that all I'm worth? Is that all I'm worth? But if you're able to talk, if you're able to lay your cards bare before each other, I'm telling you, even when you're super tired and your wife touches you, you will turn around, have the time of your life, and sleep. Now, I don't want to go into that too much. I've said a bit, that's fine. AJ says he's enjoying it. I'm glad you are. Now, one of the things you need to know in order for you to have a beautiful marriage is to know the love language of your spouse. Without their love language, you're speaking totally different languages. My kids will say, you're speaking gibberish. And that is what happens when you don't speak your spouse's love language, because you think this is your love language and you want your spouse to communicate it to you. And if you don't know the other person's love language, you ain't going nowhere. Benjamin says, yes, I love the quickie part. I'm sure you would. All right, you know what? I'll come back to this in a little while, but let me just flow with my keys, okay? And then when we have a bit more time, I might talk about that a bit. I think people have a bit of fun when it comes to somebody talking about sex, and so don't worry about that at all. We'll talk about it. So in order for you to have a successful, beautiful marriage, what you need to do is that you learn the love language of your spouse. And I mean, there have been several books written about love languages, but the one that I love most was the one that Gary Chapman wrote, The 5 Love Languages. And it's absolutely brilliant. If you haven't read it, please just, I think they have the ebook now, and so you can buy it and learn. And so by so doing, it's easier for you to sing with your spouse. My love language, I think, language, okay? And so if you don't know what your partner's love language is, I'd love that you sit down and talk and let them tell you what their love language is. My love language, I love receiving gifts. I love affirmation. I love when my husband gets me my first cup of coffee in the morning, and that comes in the what service. And so if you know this, anything you do for me outside of this box, I wouldn't appreciate it. But everything you do for me in this box is you talking my language, okay? And so he knows that. And then my first cup of coffee is, if he's in town, I get it in my bed before I come downstairs. And I love it, okay? And he realizes that I love it, and so he does it more. Sometimes I don't even ask, and I get it. And my kids know it. And sometimes when my little girl, Zizi, does it for me, she'll do it the first time lovingly, second time, the third day she'll tell you, Mommy, don't be expecting this. I can't be doing it for you. But then, hey, I'm not married to her. She's only my daughter, okay? And so, yes, learn your spouse's love language. And also, if there's something that you guys can do together, one of the things that actually bonds a lot of couples together is what they do together. And so it's either maybe you have a hobby, maybe you go swimming, or you do tennis, or you do sports, or you do athletics, but something that you do together, it's one of the strengthening tools as well that bonds you together. Now, another key aspect is respect. And mind you, people say garbage in, garbage out. What you give out, what you give up is what you get back. And so in order for you to have, I'm not going according to the way I did it on my presentation, but I'm just saying it on top of my head. Now, if you want your spouse to have, or you both to have a beautiful marriage, one of the most important things you need to do is to respect each other. Respect means that I respect your views, I respect your opinions, but there are times when I don't want, all the time anyway, I don't have to let what I think become the overall rule. Because we are in a partnership, I need to respect your views. Even if I don't agree with you, I still need to respect them. Okay. And normally they say, oh, one of the main things for a man is respect. That is true. But mind you, one of the most important things to a woman is respect as well. Because if you respect a woman, she gives you your respect back as a man. If you don't respect her, she doesn't respect you. If you talk to your wife anyhow, she looks at you and she gives you the same thing back, maybe even double. Okay. And so, yes, you can start bringing your questions in and we will try and solve them. Okay. And so respect is important. Now, agreeing to disagree is one of the most important tools as well. Because we are two different people coming together, we might not have the same views about things. We might not have the same ideologies, even though it might be similar, because that is what probably drew us together. But we need to agree, or we need to disagree to agree. I don't need to have the final say. I don't need to say it is my way or the highway. No, we agree, we disagree. Even in an argument where I think that I am so right, I don't need to let what I think is right become the ultimate. It can become when I think that you're making the biggest mistake of your life. But even that, I can't shove it down your throat. I can only give you why I think it is wrong, and then we can talk about it. Now, in marriage, like I said, it goes through the seasons of life. Every marriage at one point or the other will go through conflict, but how you handle your conflict will determine the outcome of the relationship. Just one blowout can destroy your relationship forever. One blowout, okay? And so let's say I'm talking to you and we're having an argument and you're my spouse and I tell you, you're very stupid for saying that to me. Because it's in the heat of the moment, when I called you stupid, it's going to hurt you. It's going to be like, did you just call me stupid? Yes, I did, because what you said is very stupid. But if it wasn't an argument, if we're not having any conflict or no problem at all, and we're just talking, I'm saying, what you just said to me is so stupid, you wouldn't take it as hard as because we were arguing. Okay. And so you see, everything actually links up to the way you communicate. But when it comes to misunderstandings, you need to have a common rule. You always need to fight fair. Don't attack the person, attack the problem. How did we get here? What happened to us? What made us come this far? What broke down our affection? What broke down this? Why did we get here? In every successful marriage, you are rather unlocking the doors instead of opening it up. Okay. And so in order for you not to destroy that which you're building, mind the way you handle conflict. Attack the problem and not the person. And whilst you are arguing, you don't go back every time and yes, this is how you always do. This is how you always say this. This is how you always know. It is not always. You attack the problem at hand. So let's say we're dealing with finances. Let's talk about finances and let's leave whatever happened. Maybe the food wasn't good. We're not talking about the food that wasn't good. We're talking about finances. And so we deal with the problem at hand. We don't always go back and bring it in, In a marriage setting, one thing you also have to do is that you need to forgive. You need to learn how to forgive. If you don't and you start keeping scorecards, I'm sorry, but you're not going anywhere. Because if you hurt me and I write it down, I'm keeping scorecards. A day will come when I will unveil all that scorecards and it will be a total blowout. And so you need to learn how to forgive. When your partner offends you and comes back and says, listen, I'm sorry for what I did. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have, but I did it. You should be the one to say, you know what, once you've apologized, that's it. And that doesn't mean that because he said you've forgiven him today and tomorrow, the third day, you're not going to forgive. No, you forgive every time. And I'm sorry, but it will burst somebody's bubble. It is every time your partner offends you and they apologize, you forgive. You forgive because you want your marriage to work. And you're not being stupid. You're not being an idiot for forgiving them every time. Rather, you're building your home. And if you want to see a change in your relationship, I normally say let the change start from you. And so once you are changing and your spouse realizes that you are changing, you're not being that sarcastic old person anymore, but you're being open, you're being accommodating, you're being loving, he or she will try to change to meet you. It is in dire moments where people are like, I can't do this anymore. I've come to the end of the road. And let me go back again to the beginning. I talked about communication. And you know what? 75% of divorce these days is all due to lack of communication. And so you got to know that communication is very, very important if you want to have a successful marriage. Like I said, you need to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the disgusting. You need to talk about everything. You need to be open. You need to be sincere. You need to be able to have a non-judgmental conversation where you're not being judged for what you're saying, or your spouse is not being judged for what they are saying. These are the things that will make your marriage or your relate. Well, we're talking about marriage here anyway. So that's what's going to make your marriage stand the test of time. Don't take each other for granted. Don't let them know that because I would do it and they would forgive me, I would do it every time. No, a day will come when they will tell you, I think I've had it up to here and I'm not forgiving you anymore because you're not going to change and I can't do it. And who caused it? Because you took your partner for granted. Don't take them for granted by thinking they'll always be at home for you, waiting for you to come back. They're going to cook, clean, and do all. Up, and then we would talk about that. Don't take each other for granted.
Sure.
And then I want to talk about making time for each other. Spend quality time. I said from the beginning that I've been dating my husband for 18 years. It doesn't mean we're not married. I've been married for 17 years just last month. And so dating means that we still go out on a date. We still do the things we used to do when we were not married, where we used to go out to a restaurant, or where we used to go to just watch a movie or just go and grab an ice cream. These are the little things that keeps the spice going. These are the little things that keep the relationship going. Being there for one another, doing the things that you love. Planning surprises is also a very important tool, where you surprise your husband or you surprise your wife. It doesn't have to be a big thing. Listen, I can go to town and I just even see a ball pen, and just maybe what is written on the pen, I like it. It might even just cost maybe say £3 or £3.50 or £4. It is not about how expensive the gift is. It is the thoughts behind it. And so if your husband comes home with just a bar of chocolate and he says, this is for you, baby, know that at the moment of he seeing the bar of chocolate, he thought about you. And so that is the thought. It is not how expensive the gift is. It is the thoughts behind the gift, okay, that makes it special. It is in the mundane things, like I said, the mundane things, the little things that you do, the little things that people take for granted. It is actually what builds the home. So your wife is in the kitchen cooking. What stops you from going to sit next to her and help her cook? What stops you from washing the dishes in the sink? What stops you from saying, baby, can I give the kids a bath while you run up dinner? These are the little things that actually make a marriage lovely, make a marriage work, because it is now a joint effort. It is a team effort. Apart from all this, when you're having your blowouts and you're having your arguments and misunderstandings, this thing will come to the back of the mind of your spouse. And women, we have that thing a lot, where we are able to remember things that our husbands do for us. Just rubbing your feet because you've had a long day, you've had a long meeting, and just rubbing your feet sends signals that I am needed, I'm loved, I'm cherished. And when you feel cherished, there is absolutely nothing you wouldn't do for the man of your dreams. And so it is in these little things that you do that keeps the marriage going. It is buying popcorn and saying, sweetie, I've just bought popcorn. Can we just do a movie night? Date night, I think I shared it on our platform a few days ago. Date night shouldn't be expensive. Date night is all about creativity. Okay, so put your creative thinking cap on. It is about cooking and setting the table and saying, this evening is just me and you eating. This evening is just me and you having our own time where we don't want distractions from our children. It is the romantic, thoughtful ideas that you put into your marriage that makes it work. Mind you, haven't said that. It's not all guys that are romantic, but let me tell you, when I got married to my husband, I've said this, I think it's become like a broken record, but I always say it because I think that people can learn. When we got married, I said to him that he is not romantic. Now my husband is an overly hopeless romantic man. When I say overly hopeless, you need to understand that he's super romantic now. So he said to me, when we got married, you said that I'm not romantic, and so I had to learn. Why did he have to learn? Because he realized that I wanted that. I wanted a man that will cuddle me. I wanted a man that will put his hands around me. I wanted a man that will be there for me when I need to offload. I wanted a man that will just surprise me, a man that will say, listen, I've booked a one night somewhere for you, just go and rest. A man that would tell me, listen, your spa is booked, just go and rest. And these are the things that I wanted in a man. And so he had to learn that in order for me to be happy, to have a happy home, to have a happy marriage, he needed to make me happy. And so he had to learn. So if you're a guy on this platform and you're listening to me and you think you are not that romantic type, you can learn. There is absolutely nothing that if you set your heart and your mind to do, that you can't achieve it. You can learn. If you want to have a beautiful relationship, if you want to have a super duper marriage, you can make it work. It all starts with you knowing what to do, knowing how to do it, and doing it to achieve results. Mind you, you need to keep your intimacy alive. It is very important. Sex, as said from the beginning, is very important in any marriage, okay? And so in order for you to have all these, please put these keys to work. They would open any locked door for you. Knowing when to talk, knowing how to talk dirty, knowing how to talk naughty with your spouse actually ignites the intimacy between the two of you. If your wife has big butts or big boobs, once a while, just look at her and go, damn, I'm a lucky man to have a woman with such things. In as much as you think, I can't say it, it's too, I'm sorry, it is what sends shivers down your wife's spine. You look at her when she's dressing up and you go, girl, you still got it. Even though she's got stretch marks on her back, you tell her that she's got it. Little things you say, you look at your husband and you go, you are one. I love saying that to my husband a lot. I say to him, you are one damn lucky man to be married to me. And he just laughs. Why? Because he knows that I appreciate him as my husband. I love him as a man of my house. I love him as the father of my kids. Okay, and so little things, keep your intimacy alive, keep your love life alive, complement each other. It's very, very good. When, listen, I went to a party yesterday, okay, and whilst I was going, I wore a dress. My husband looked at me and like, girl, this dress shows your legs and it's very beautiful on you. I'm like, oh, thank you. It is just a compliment. But listen, when I was at the party, I felt like I was the most prettiest of the girls there. Not that I was, but the compliment that I had prior to leaving home stayed with me all through the time that I was away. And so compliment each other. When your husband does something for you, tell them thank you. When your wife does something for you, tell them thank you. Keep the positivity alive. Keep track of what your spouse does for you and what they do for you. And listen, it all attributes into having a very beautiful and successful marriage. Be positive. Stop focusing on the negative sides of your spouses. Just focus on the positives. Okay, and all these things are things that matters in every life, in every relationship. Even prior to you getting married, it is one of the things that will keep you alive if you are the kind of person that is able to give compliments. I give compliments a lot, even to my colleagues, to my clients, to my children, to family. I just love giving compliments because growing up, we were used to that. And so be somebody that you're very accommodative, you easily forgive, you learn how to, if you don't know how to communicate, please contact somebody that can help you, because communication is a skill. You need to learn it. And it is the basic foundation upon which you will build all that. It is the basic foundation that you will build your marriage. If your communication is broken, I'm sorry, but your relationship is weak. And so build on your communication and add up all these. These are just like she said, I think it says keys. And so this is the key to open every door. But communication, let's imagine that you have a mansion or you live in a gated house. Communication is the gate into that house. That house has many other doors, and all these keys will open all the doors, but communication is the main entrance through which you can come through. So if you want your marriage to be healthy, if you want your marriage to be loving, incorporate communication. Know when to talk, know how to talk, listen, and add a bit of humor. Add a bit of fun. Be able to joke with your spouse. Don't be too uptight. Don't be too prim and proper. Even though you might be a lady, maybe you are soft spoken, even though you are the prim of the prim's gentleman. But learn when to open up and crack a joke or two. Know when to make fun. Know when to say your wife's hair looks messy. Just crack a joke about it. Make your relationship fun. When you are happy at home, I'm telling you, going out becomes a chore. I don't like going out. I even though I do events and so I have to go out, but if I had my own way, I would stay at home. Why? Because my home is my safe haven. Trust me, no marriage is paradise. Mine isn't paradise, but I've made it my safe haven. I've made it a place where I'm accepted, where I'm loved, where I know I belong. I don't have any mask on when I'm at home. My mask is off. This is me. My emotions are down. My guards are down. My vulnerability is super high. This is it. What you see is what you get. And so create that atmosphere in your home. Marriage is beautiful, but marriage is hard work. And mind you, the grass is never greener on the other side. The grass is greener where it's been watered. And so yes, don't sit behind the fence and admire the garden of your neighbor. Cultivate your own garden, nurture it, grow it, prune when it needs to be pruned. When you see the roses, it is so beautiful, but it has thorns. In order for you to know how to hold the stem of a rose, you need to know where the thorns are, and you need to pick them off. My logo for my company is just a stem of a rose, okay? It's called rose petal. You only see the petal and just a little stem on that. The reason being that I said, if you're able to clip off the thorns on the stem of the rose plant, it is absolutely beautiful. And I have roses in front of my house, but they attract insects. They have thorns. You need to prune them in order for them to grow and bloom and be big. So in order for you to cultivate and to nurture a happy, healthy marriage, you need to nurture your plants. You need to prune them. You need to put insecticide on them. You need to put Miracle Grow on them. You need to take off all the dead weeds and everything that is not allowing your rose plant to grow to how you want it. It is time for you to just cut them off. Because when they bloom, it is absolutely beautiful. So I just hope that these keys that I've given you would help. I've sent the PowerPoint again to Emma, and hopefully she would send it to each and every one of you so you can have it. I'm so sorry that technology has actually failed me this evening, and I really don't know. But I'm open for questions, please. If you have any questions. Oh, okay, I've seen a few.
Okay, do you want me to read them out for you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, no, go ahead, read them.
Okay, but then before I do that, I mean, your presentation is just super fantastic. It's
Thank
fire.
you, honey.
I really loved them. I have actually jotted some points down personally for myself, and I also had some agreement of some ideologies I had previously about marriage, you know, in my own mind, which you also which you've said, and it actually goes with it. The rose aspect of it, which yeah, it's super true. Because I also personally had an idea that in marriage, it's just a view, but you don't fall in love, but you grow in love. So there are a lot of things you have to do on the land before you get whatever it is that you want to harvest at the end of the day. So that was
Absolutely.
super. Thank you so much. Going to our questions, we take our first question from AJ. AJ said, Auntie Sandra, can one know or determine the right love language of your partner? Yes, so we want to find out.
You have to know. You can't assume. You can't even say, I think this is it. If your partner knows exactly what they want, and this all boils down to communication, because when you begin to talk, then you get to know what your partner actually likes. I had to learn that my husband loves quality time. And so the time I spent with him, even if it's just 5 minutes, he wants it to be quality. He wants it to be just the two of us sitting down and just talking. And that is it. But I had to also learn that. I had to know that, okay, this is it. I didn't have to assume. And so even though he said to me that he loves quality time, I had to learn how to build that quality time. Okay, it all comes when you begin to talk. So when you're talking, you need to, whilst you're dating, you need to open your eyes. I said dating is a time where your eyes, your ears, your sense, all your senses needs to be awakened when you're dating. You don't wait till you get married to say, when I get married, I will learn about my partner. No, you learn about them prior to getting married. Because when you're in, I'm sorry, it's a different ball game altogether. When the scales begin to fall from your eyes, you're like, damn, what have I done? And so please learn about your spouse prior to getting married in the dating period, please.
Fantastic. So that is great. We have to learn that before we get married. Let's move to the next question, and it says that how do you deal with a nagging partner? From AJ, same AJ, because I know we all have our limits to what we can tolerate from someone.
Absolutely. Being with a nagging partner is draining, is emotionally draining, but you need to know what is making them nag. Nobody just gets up and start talking. There is a trigger, there is a tick. And so what ticks them? What triggers the nag? Once you're able to know what triggers the nag, you deal with it. I know that they say some women are naturally troublesome. But when you get to know their soft spot and you play on the soft spot, that side of them, the troublesome side, never comes up. It's like a sleeping dog by a fire. It won't wake up because it's very warm and comfortable. So if you know what causes the trigger, what causes the nag, then you deal with it. Unless the person is a narcissist, then there's absolutely nothing you can do, but you should have seen the warning signs before you got married. Because all these things will come up when you're dating, the way they handle maybe aggression, the way they handle conflict, the way they argue with you, the way they even talk to you when you're late in picking them up, or when you promise them something and you haven't done it. The way they talk to you will determine who they are. That is why I said when you're dating, let all your senses awaken, your eyes, your ears, your heart. Don't let your heart lead you. Think. If you think this thing is not going anywhere, I'm sorry, not all dating relationships need to end up in marriage. You need to clip off the wings earlier before he learns how to fly.
Thank you. I like that last bit. Not every relationship leads to marriage. Wow. I really like that. Moving on to the next thing. Before we move on to the next question, I would like to remind everybody that in 10 minutes time, the link will be going off again. And for the love of this conference and the love for our dear guest speaker, Auntie Sandra Delali, and for our own self, the knowledge and impact that we actually get in here, please, let's do join again. Same ID, same password. Let's make this work for us. Thank you.
Okay.
So moving on. So okay, these are not questions though. It says from Cynthia. Cynthia says, I love this lady. So this is for you, Auntie Sandra.
Thank you, Cynthia. I love you more.
Ah, that's funny. And then from Wilson Thompson, he said, real and frank talk filled with a lot of value. Respect, Professor Emeritus. Wow.
Professor Wilson.
So that's for you, Auntie Sandra. And then from Citylife Management, Citylife is actually hitting on one of the skills that, or one of the key that he gave, which is very important, that communication is the skill, is really, really the skill. And Benjamin agreed to that. AJ says, Auntie Sandra, you are killing it, super sauce.
Thank you.
And then we got to know your secrets, that you are a rose lover.
Yes, I do. I love roses.
So, oh, that's so beautiful. So this time we would like to take the questions from the participants themselves. They want you to feel their voices, you know, and so that you can, as a communicator, you know the tone and the mood behind the question, so that we can go like that. So
no problem.
Yeah, so on this note, please, if anybody has a question, kindly unmute yourself, or the host will help to unmute you, and then you ask your question. Let's be jiffy so we can all have a good night.
Hi, Auntie Sandra.
Hello.
That was a powerful presentation. In fact, I enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm still reminiscing on some few points you were making. And I think yesterday and today has been so tough in terms of relationship discussions and seminars, and I think they are very powerful. So just like you said, a very big thank you for sharing more light on relationship issues, and especially how to hold down your relationship in marriage. My question I want to ask is, we were talking about communication being one of the skills that we need to acquire in order to grow or maintain or hold down our relationships in marriage. Aside communication, what else is another important aspect of it? Because yes, you might even communicate very well with your partner, but in the long run, it might still not be enough to hold you down as much as you think it should.
Okay. I talked about trust. I said, apart from communication, the next thing that needs to be built is trust. Because when you're trusted, nothing moves you. When you are emotionally available, nothing destroys you. When you're in sync with your partner, you guys can move mountains. The thing is, when two people are in sync and they trust each other, even if there's no money in the pocket, no one would know. Why? Because I got your back, you got my back. And we try to make it work. The reason being that our purposes align, our dreams align, our visions align. And so we try to work towards that. I trust you with my life. I trust you that whatever you're saying to me is the truth. And so aside communication, what you need to do is trust. You build trust. Trust has to be built. You just don't get up and just earn it. No, you trust it in order for it to be earned. And I said that trust is not only when you don't cheat. Trust is not only about infidelity. Trust is not only about adultery. Trust is about you promising and not doing it. You saying one thing and not doing it. You saying one thing and doing the other. That is all about trust. And when you do these things, it brings about cracks in the relationship. In as much as you might be talking or having a good communication, whatever, trust brings about cracks. If you're not trustworthy, you create cracks in your relationship. And so you need to build trust. I spoke about respect as well. Respect is earned, but respect is reciprocal. You give it to me, I give it to you. If you don't respect me, and if I don't trust you, and if we don't talk properly, we ain't going nowhere. And I gave the analogy of you sitting in a car that has got no fuel in it. You're not going nowhere. So these are like the they have a word for them, like the core, okay? So your 3 core will be your communication, it will be your trust, it will be your respect. I'll probably add 4, would be your keeping your intimacy alive. Okay, so these 4, let these 4 be your core, because when you have them, you can add up all the rest.
Great, 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 great. If you have the 4, you can add up all the rest. Yeah, from Benjamin. Benjamin, to you, Auntie Sandra. Benjamin says, I really, really love Sandra. Very, very educative.
Thank you so much, Benjamin.
A lot of people are falling in love with you tonight. You're going to be, your husband is going to beat them. They don't know.
No, he's not afraid. No shaking. They call it no shaking. He knows his place.
So I have something to say, but I don't know, because you mentioned time. I don't know if, but anyway, I'll just start and see.
Same here. I've been waiting for you.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say a very big thank you to our host. This is a very great session. I enjoyed every bit of it. I mean, I love the issue of love and, you know, relationships and all of that. And one thing that you mentioned was building your intimacy as opposed to you and your partner. So another thing, another observation I made, and this is something I've been talking a lot, I mean, with my friends. I always say that when it comes to, no pun intended, but when it comes to African women, we are not, we have not been really, I want to say, empowered to have sex. The issue has to do with.
Oh, you've muted yourself, Cynthia.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Oh my goodness. All right. So I was saying that, first of all, I was saying that I was, you know, thanking you for a great session.
Yeah. We got all that until about the African women haven't been empowered. Then you went on.
Right. So I was talking about how I feel that African women are not properly empowered to have sex, or maybe I'll choose my word. I would rather say sort of liberated to have
vulnerable.
sex.
I think let's use the word vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Okay. I always say that because we, especially when you're coming from a religious background, you know, you sort of demonize the act, because I mean, we all talk about abstinence, and you and I agree that of course, as we being Christians, we have to, you know, abstain and all of that. And then I realized that as time goes on, when we marry, we enter the marriage and we still hold that, you know, in high esteem, thinking that, okay, you have to, you know, behave in a certain way so that your husband thinks, okay, you are from a good home, you are doing that, and, you know, and you have to protect yourself. Yes, so like I was saying, Sandra, you said vulnerable. Maybe I would rather choose we have not been properly liberated to have sex, because we think that, okay, you know, it's preserved for, I don't know, bad girls, sort of, in quotes, to, you know, have sex, to enjoy sex. So what I want to say basically is, I mean, as we being, I'm not married, but I mean, I want to be married, and I want to try all the very, very naughty stuff, and not feel ashamed of it, and not feel like I'm very, you know, I don't want to be, you know what I mean? I don't know, I can't, yeah. So, and aside that, you also mentioned the love languages, which I think it's a very good point that you raised, because when it comes to the issue of love languages, we have not really been educated on it. And we don't really know what love languages are. And one thing I would also want to add is knowing your partner's temperament. Temperament is very necessary, because we are very different in our ways, in our, you know, in our thinking. And when you know your partner's temperament, that is when you can know who the person is and how best to relate with the person. So thank you very much. That was a very great session.
Okay, so having said that, African women have not been empowered to have sex, and I said, let's use the word vulnerable. In as much as I want to use that word vulnerable, is that they think that if they let their guard down, like you said, it's going to sound like they're bad girls. So if you're not that vulnerable, you would, like you said, you want to try all the styles and all the positions and everything. It means that you have to be vulnerable enough to explore. If you're not vulnerable enough, you don't let your guard down, and being able to build very good intimacy. Intimacy, I say, into me, I let you see. And so I have to be able to be vulnerable enough for you to see what I want, or for you to know what I can do. Right. If they haven't been empowered enough, a lot of us don't actually get married with the notion that we know everything. Marriage, I say, is we learn on the job. And so if you're coming as a novice and you don't even know how to have sex at all, you learn on the job. As long as your mindset is that when I was not married, sex was frowned upon because it was termed as unholy. Now in the sight of God, it is very holy. It is, I can do everything I want on my bed as long as it is with my husband. And so we don't want to say that you came in with it. I didn't know everything when I got married. In as much as I talk about marriage with passion, and in as much as it is my job, one thing that has actually made me a bit different from other strategists and coaches and counselors is because I learn on the job. Those that are divorced, or I mean the divorce counselors that are divorced, when they talk about divorce, they talk about it with passion because they have been there. I can't talk too much about divorce with that kind of a passion because I haven't been through it. In as much as I've learned it as a course. And so when it comes to sex, and when it comes to you making love to your husband, as the African, well, maybe one day Citylife management would organize something like that, where we learn about intimacy, where we learn about being fluid when it comes to having sex, where we learn that in the sight of God and on the marriage bed, it is undefiled. Nothing you do in that room should make you ashamed, should make you feel guilty, should make you feel sad, should make you feel dirty. Everything you do on that bed from head to bottom, as long as it is okay with both you and your spouse, God will not frown upon it. I'm telling you this. God will not frown upon it. And so if you see, you have to, in order for you to enjoy sex, you have to begin to explore. You have to begin to go on an adventure because you haven't been in it before. You don't know the jungle. But if you go on a trail, if you take a map and you're like, sweetie, we haven't done this before, I've read it. We haven't done this before, I've seen it or I've heard it, let's try. If you do it and you're not comfortable with it, you don't do it again. If you're comfortable with it, you go on. You do it. You try new positions. You try new skills. You try new style. The next time it is not only in the bed. Listen, sex shouldn't be boring, especially when you're married and you don't have kids. It should not be just in the bedroom. Kitchen, sitting room, dining table, bathroom, toilet floor, wherever you want to do it. Just like Nike said, just do it. Listen, build it, enjoy it. It's beautiful, to be honest with you. When you're able to make love to your spouse, oh my God. Listen, some people even make love to their spouses in their cars, in their garages. It's not dirty. No, this is called adventure. It is called exploration. We are exploring together. Oh yes, when it comes to that, I have so much passion because I have talked about women having boring sex for far too long. And so it is time, I'm so grateful that you brought this up, Cynthia. It is time for us to break loose of that box, to break loose of that bubble, to enjoy not just being feminine, but to enjoy everything that comes with it. If it means you want to be in the driving seat, so be it. But whatever you do, just do it and enjoy it. Okay? Next question.
Whatever you do, just do it.
Just do it.
Exactly. If only it's what that ignites the fire. Okay, we have something from AJ. AJ says Sandra is just on fire with facts and knowledge.
Do it. It doesn't matter where you do it. Just do it.
I saw some tears. I don't know whether they were tears or the passion when you were speaking about. It was fire.
Just do it. Listen, you can just book a hotel for just you and your husband if you have kids at home. And tell him, you know what, this weekend I am doing it because I want to do something very crazy to you, and the kids are here, I can't do it. I've booked a hotel for us for the weekend, or even if just one night. Just do it.
I think I like that point. You can just
the hashtag.
because most of the times I think we are always waiting for the men to do it. We don't like to take the initiative.
Listen, he is your husband. If he has his own office and you think you can go there and lock the door behind you, just go for a quickie. Just do it and get out. And he would remember it for as long as he has breath. Just do it. Just do it.
Hashtag. Tonight's hashtag is
just hashtag just do it.
I love this fire. And I know that Cynthia loves it more than I do. For AJ, you cannot talk about it.
Oh, dear Lordy.
Benjamin says that Sandra is really on fire, and I love it. And from Ohininya Christopher, he said, I love that I want to do something to you, Pat.
Exactly. You need to tell him. So he gets it. So his mind is on it, or he's just thinking about it. Listen, my wife is just going to do something to me. It's just rocking through his brain. You know, it's important. You just need to keep your intimacy alive. Life is too short to be too stressed. Have fun.
I like that.
Have fun.
I like that. I like
whatever
that.
you do, just do it. It doesn't matter where. If it's in your bathroom, just have a quickie. In your kitchen, go ahead. In your dining table, do it. In your couch, do it. On your carpet, do it. On your floor, do it. Whatever you do, just do it.
Yes, the Just Do It hashtag, we are reminded that this is for married couples. So
Absolutely.
Let's all
get married and just do it.
Yes, we don't want tomorrow after the conference, somebody will say, just do it. Let's go and do it. Who said that? Auntie Sandra said.
No, I didn't. I said your husband.
Auntie Sandra said, just do it. So this is from Citylife Management, and it says, we are keeping all these infos and practices. It's so when we get married, yes. So in as much as we are igniting the fire and the love for this, of course, if you are not married, please, the notebook should be there. Just right, if you finish, make it close and go put down. When the time comes, and then you just ignite the fire. Please, who else has a question?
Okay, I've just done something, right? I'm just sharing.
Look at this. Your screen is here.
Okay. Oh my God.
Miracle.
Right.
Just do it. It's happening.
Just do it. Imagine.
So, are you still sharing the screen?
I will share it for. I could just put it on. You, whoever wants to take a screenshot can do that.
Okay.
If you take a screenshot, you can do that. Okay, so that I just had to do. I had to just like share. Oh gosh. So that if you want to take a screenshot, if not, what I'll do is I'll probably send everything to Macasia. Then afterwards, if you want it, if anybody wants it, I'll send it to her, and then she can get it to everybody that wants it. Okay.
Okay. That would be great.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay, so who has a question? Let's keep the fire on. We still have some few minutes for the session to be over, and then we say it was a great, like I said, we wanted to be the best of it all. AJ, Cynthia, Benjamin, are we together? I'm calling for my name today.
I know, right? It's important.
Deborah, you asked a question the last session, and unfortunately I couldn't capture that. Can you please bring that on? We really want to hear from you. Deborah, we have Adam, please don't be quiet. You want to hear that question and that fire. Maybe you want to show Auntie Sandra some love, and you know it's been a great session.
Adam, come on, say something.
Adam. Or you just want to do it. Just do it, Adam. Mary?
I know, right? Mary D, my own Mary D.
Oh, Mary D, just do it. Oh, okay, we have Nancy in the house. Nancy wants to do it. So she's
Nancy, my love.
Oh, Nancy. Please, people. Is someone on?
I was going to
hello.
Something.
Who is this, please?
It's Cynthia, please.
Oh, Cynthia. Okay.
Yeah. So I just have a question for Auntie Sandra.
Yes.
So you know, most of the times, so many times, some of us women are found entangled in our relationships that we try so hard to make it work, even though we know that it's not going to work. So therefore, I'm just thinking aloud here. I'm thinking. So when do you know that you have to, leave?
Sweetie.
In marriages or probably relationships, right? You can go ahead, please. I'm done.
Okay, if it's a dating relationship and it's not working, I said if it's not going anywhere, you're just like in a car with no fuel, you are not going nowhere.
How do you know that
you
it's not
would
going
know,
nowhere?
sweetie.
Okay.
If you are dating somebody, the person is not emotionally available, the person is not making you a priority, the person doesn't have time for you, the person doesn't take you serious, what are you doing in that relationship? Get up and leave. Listen, I was driving with my daughter and she said something to me and it was so profound. She said, I make myself my own priority. Everybody else is secondary. She says, Mommy, apart from myself, I think it's you. But I make everybody the second best. I am my own priority. If somebody is not making you a priority in their lives and you are just an option, there is no point. You've got no business being in that dating relationship. And I always say this, for those of you that know me, I keep saying it, and I will say it again this evening to all of you on this platform. Don't say I am trying to make this relationship work, or I will manage this relationship. When you get married to trying and managing, I'm sorry, but you're going to be the most miserable wife that ever lived, because your husband will not be emotionally connected to you. He got married to you probably because he thinks I just want to get married and you are you're the next available person for me, or something might have pushed him to get married to you. Or you might be in the relationship because you think, listen, let's get married. I can help us get married. You start even buying all the wedding stuff and you get married. He is going to tell you one day that I didn't even want to marry you in the first place. You forced me to marry you. And that will hurt you to the core. If your dating relationship is not working, girlfriend, get up and go. You don't manage anybody. You don't try a relationship. I will try to make it work. No, the relationship is working. Your efforts you're making or you're adding to it is making it super. But you don't say, because I'm growing, I need to try and have a relationship, and so I will make it work and I will try to make it work. You will be miserable. And you would know, sweetie, when a relationship is not working, you would know. When you text somebody and he takes a day or two to reply, you know it's time for you to close that door. When you call somebody and he said he doesn't even answer you, he calls you back after a day, oh, I was so busy. Really? Didn't you eat? Didn't you go to the toilet? Didn't you drink water? Were you not on break? So when were they that busy that they couldn't call you? If somebody thinks about you and makes you a priority, they would call you. Let me tell you something. When my husband calls me at work and I have a client, when I see him, I check my phone and it's my husband's name, I tell my client, let me speak to my husband and I will come back to you. Then I tell my husband, I have a client with me. Let me call you back when the client leaves. And that's it. Why? Because he's my priority. When my husband is in a meeting and I call and he sees my number on the phone, it doesn't matter what meeting he is in, he says to everybody, my wife is on the line, let me find out why, and then we'll continue. And then he would tell me, Sandy, I'm in a meeting, I will call you back. That is you being the person's priority. If they can't talk to you, they will send you a message right back. Sweetie, I'm in the middle of a very important meeting, I will call you back. And right after that meeting, you would get that phone call. So you would know when a relationship is not working. Nobody under the sun will say they didn't know the relationship wasn't working. You knew it. You just did not open your eyes enough. You closed your eyes, you closed your ears, you let your heart make the decision for you because your belly was full of butterflies. I'm sorry, the butterflies will fly and your belly will be so empty and you'll be very miserable. When it's not working, get out and shut that door behind you.
Okay, thank you. And a follow-up, can I go ahead? Oh, I'm just talking too much. Am I talking too much?
No. I love
okay.
it.
All right. So this one is a very personal question, right? So
if it is personal and you think you can't share it
oh
here,
no,
okay.
don't worry. It's very
cool.
It's one of those things. So what if you're in a relationship and everything is okay, but there are lots of women after your man? You have been married for a long time. Like, what do you do? This is very personal.
What are the women doing with him?
They're just
and what is he doing with the woman? Is he entertaining?
I mean, he tells me all the time. I mean, he tells me, but you know, these are things you can't control, right?
Let me tell you something. If a man wants you and it's just you and you alone, all these other women that are coming in like ants over a sweet, he would block them all off because he doesn't want
this. Some of them he does block them, but some of them he works with them, so you know, that kind of thing. How do you deal? Do you ever deal with it?
I can work with you, but I won't entertain you there is something called boundaries. And maybe one of these days, see, Mackenzie, maybe you need to organize an event that is for just dating, singles dating, because you need to know about boundaries. When you are able to build proper boundaries, nobody will cross. I have clients that are very flirtatious men, but I have my boundary on so high you dare not cross. You can tell me, Sandra, you look very beautiful. I'm like, oh, thank you. My husband says all the time. I have shut it on your face. You can't. I won't say, oh, thank you for telling me. No, I'm sorry. I know it already. Oh, you smell good. Oh, my husband, even if I didn't say it, because I don't want to entertain you, I will say, oh, my husband said it to me this morning when I put it on. He hasn't said anything. Boundaries are lines that guard you. Even with your friends, you need to have boundaries. Certain things nobody can cross. So if you're a single man and you work with ladies, and the ladies find you very attractive, and so they want to flaunt it in your face, you need to put boundaries on. If he comes and tells you, oh, this girl is flirting with me, or this girl is loving on me and all that, he's just telling you, he's making you aware. When you see him in a corner with that girl, he will tell you, but I told you this girl was coming on to me. But in actual fact, if he built his boundaries, the girl will dare not cross that boundary to even be in that corner with him. He's being open, which is good. He's telling you, but the boundaries need to be built. They are very, very important. Personal boundaries are important. Even for just friendship, your boundaries are very important. I can be very nice with you, but I will not let you disrespect me. Why? Because I have my boundaries on. You can be my friend, I can be chatting with you, but in as much as I respect you, you respect me, we have boundaries we don't cross. Certain things we don't say, to each other. And so boundaries are very, very important. So tell your boyfriend or your fiancé or whoever he is, he has to learn how to build boundaries. If he doesn't build them boundaries, I'm sorry, one day you're going to wake up and you smell the coffee.
Yeah. Thank you very much. This was very helpful. I think we are going to talk about this. Thank you.
Yeah, Cynthia. Thank you too for your engagement and your questions. I really enjoyed them. AJ too. Who else have a question?
Okay, I have something to say here.
Who do we have here?
Macazia.
Okay, the boss herself.
Okay, I just
Go on, boss girl.
I saw something on Facebook, I think the other day, and I screenshot it. I want to read it out.
Okay.
I think it's from one of the pastors. I can't see the name. It says avoiding a bad marriage. After salvation, the most important choice you will need to make is who you marry.
It's 100% true.
Yeah.
100%. That is why you need to take your time to get to know the person. That is why when you're dating, you need, like I said, let all your senses work. Let your eyes, your ears, your heart, and let every sense that you have, even your taste, let it work. Let your nose smell. Let your lips taste. Let everything about you it just had to work, because if you make the mistake of marrying the wrong person, it would make your life miserable. And I'm sorry to say, divorce is not an easy thing to go through. And so please, if you're dating somebody, make sure that it's not, like I said, don't say I'm trying or I will manage. No. If you're seeing all the red flags, don't ignore them. Red flags are warning signs for you. And so you need to know that, listen, marriage vows are not to be taken lightly. In as much as we think, oh, I can just marry you today and leave you tomorrow. But it is a vow you've made before God. And so it is something that you don't take lightly. I just can't come and say that till death do us part. But then after just a year, I'm like, oh, I think I made a mistake. I can't. You might have even invested emotionally into the relationship. And so your heart is in it. Letting go of something that you've loved is not easy. But please, let every sense of yours work. If it's not working, get out and shut that door behind you. Don't even look back. Don't look back. A bad relationship, my goodness, a bad marriage is not something you want to wake up in the morning to. Marriage is beautiful, but it's also hard work. And you want to be able to do that hard work with the person that loves you back and is willing to do the hard work with you.
Ghana here, everybody wakes up and when he asks everyone, how are you? They say, oh, I'm managing. So we are all managers. But when it comes to relationship, Auntie Sandra said, don't manage it.
Don't manage it.
Do it. Take the courage and do it. When it's not working, end it. When it's working, just take the courage and add more power, more vim, more great things to it to make it work. I mean, that is fantastic. So, Auntie Sandra, I want to ask this question. It's in line with Cynthia's questions in terms of how we are groomed as African ladies or women or girls. I personally think that females have different versions, and whatever version you are with, how you will behave. So I asked, we are not taught or we are not encouraged as ladies to approach a man, and if you like a man, you should tell the man, oh, I think I like you, and like that. It's always let's wait for the man to approach us. So what happens when you meet someone or you've been friends with someone per se, and you've realized that the person has good qualities that you yearn for in a partner, and you want to, tell the person, you have that mindset that he might think you are cheap, or he might, or one day when he gets married, he'll be like, and you understand. You see that kind of
got you.
Yeah, so please go your way and that kind of thing. So we have fears to tell the man, unlike the whites or the Western world, where if they like you, they tell you, and then you are matured. But here they see you as immature, like all kind of that. What do you have to say about that?
I think it's like cultural differences, and so unlike here, where a lady can see a guy and
Oh, your sound. Please unmute yourself.
sorry, I'm so sorry. My interrupted mine.
That's cool.
Okay, so like I said, it's probably cultural differences, and so things that the Westerners can do, probably the typical African lady cannot or would not. Your parents would not even encourage you to do it. But one thing you should know is that there is something called the play game. And play game is as simple as this, that when I like you or you're my friend, I don't probably just prompt you that I like you, but I give you the signs for you to begin to chase me. Okay. And so I probably would be talking to you, I would be having fun with you, I would maybe say, let's go on a date, let's go and have a drink, let's go and do this. I'm giving you the warning signs, I'm giving you the tip-ins for you to now do the chasing, because men, it's a man's DNA to chase the woman. And so the guy would always want to chase. But actually in this generation, I don't think there's anything wrong with even the lady asking a man out, but you need to know who you are asking out. Is the guy matured enough to handle it? Or is he going to just be a boy? There's a difference between a boy and a man. If he's a man and he's got matured mind, in as much as you are asking him out, he will begin to do the chasing. If he's a boy, when you ask him out, he will tell you, oh, don't mind this girl. You know, the typical Ghanaian guy was, oh, Charlie, no, don't mind. I'm trying to get my typical Ghana accent on, but I think I'm just faking it. So you just go like, oh, Charlie, this, you know how they behave. And so that is the difference between a boy and a man. And so when you when you want to approach a man, you need to know the tactics to use. Throw a bait, okay? Just like you're going for fishing. You need to throw a bait to the fish comes to the hook and you grab it. It's the dating game. It's the game you need to know. It's who you're going to ask out. It's who you're dealing with. If he's a boy, let it pass. If he's a man, you go for the kill. But do it subtly that he won't even realize it's you that is probably coming very hard on him, and let him do the chasing. It will surprise you. It's really nice when you know how to play the game.
Wow.
It's not about buying him presents. It's not about giving him money. It's not about gifts. It's about how you go for the kill.
Sure. This is really fantastic. I again second and agree with you on the difference between a boy and a man.
There's a difference, really difference, maturity levels.
Exactly.
He can be young but very matured mind.
Yeah.
He can be old and very foolish.
Exactly. I even have 3 sessions. I say we have the boy to the girl, the guy to the lady, and the woman to the man. They are stages. Absolutely. And everybody. So I told somebody, God did not create a lady, or God created a female and a male, but you actually decide how society should notify whether you are a lady. Then they will address you by search. But if you are a boy, they will. So boys attract girls, and girls, women attract men. Maturity. Thank you so much. In some few minutes we'll be going. I don't know if someone else has a question, but as they prepare, I'd like to ask. There is this friend who actually shared a story. Yesterday we didn't finish talking about it. I got angry because it's just not good. Yes, this is what happened. She was telling me about her own sister who has gotten, they are not married. she has given birth to 3 children with a man, and they've been in a relationship for 20 years, and there hasn't been marriage. Not knowing the man is having another relationship and has another 3 kids.
Oh wow.
Somewhere. So now the man says that, told the lady's brother that he wants to send a text message to the girl or the lady that we are over. I don't want to see you again. A text message? Really?
After 20 years.
After 20 years. Nothing.
Are they living together?
Yes.
Then I'm sorry, it has to go through the court. I don't know about the rules and regulations in Ghana with regards to this. But if it is here in the UK, you can't live with somebody for 20 years and just send them a text message and say it's over. It needs to go through the court. After 3 years of living together, I'm sorry, you even have to go to court, let alone 20 years. Because the person has invested emotionally, is invested physically, is invested sexually, is invested everything into that relationship. So you just can't send a message and say farewell or good riddance to bad rubbish. So I don't really know about the rules and regulations in Ghana, but speak to a family solicitor or speak to a family lawyer who can probably tell you a bit more. If you want me to connect you with one, I can do that. But it's not just get up and say I'm done, even if they're not married.
Sure, thank you. We are actually left with 5 minutes to say goodbye. And I feel so sad right now. But we're looking forward for other very, very interesting sessions. All the topics you brought, the dating and all that, we're looking forward that we'll have that conference as well, so that we can digest into details more of this.
No problem at all.
Exactly. AJ is super excited about it, and he was just telling us how he's going to plan things. Cynthia is also very ready to bring in more participants from her side. And we have Benjamin writing all the notes as to how it's going to go and all that.
I will send the slides to Macasia. So if you want the slides, just contact her and she would. Oh, Adam, okay. I love you right back.
I love you. Yes, that was from Adam. So far, Adam has opened up. Oh, that's great. That's great. It's great to hear from
Mary. Thank you, Miss D.
Okay. Yeah, Auntie Sandra, before we let go of you, can you please share with us your social media handles and any means by which, if anybody wants to contact you, maybe for a consultation or mentorship or whatsoever that you'll be willing to give out, or if you can share with us something.
Okay, so I've got 2 Facebook accounts. One is my personal one, which is Sandra Awodi. On Facebook, I've got the Real Talk with Sandra Delali as well. On Instagram, I've got Real Talk with Sandra D, the letter D. And I've got Real Moms Connect. So on Instagram, I've got 2 accounts as well. I've got Real Talk with Sandra D, and I've got Real Moms Connect. On LinkedIn, I'm Sandra Delali. On Twitter, I'm Real Talk with Sandra. On no, I'm not on Snap. No. So yeah, if you want to contact me directly, you can send me a message on Messenger, and I would get back to you if you need coaching, or if you need mentoring, or if you need a one-to-one session. On the other hand, you can send me an email to realtalkwithsandra@gmail.com. So these are by means which you can get me, but I'm also available on WhatsApp, but unless you have a pen to get the number. But if you contact Macasia, she's my link. So if you contact her, she would link you up with me. Okay. Oh, you love my pictures on IG. Thank you. So Cynthia, I need to really know who you are. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Macasia, thank you so much for having me on your program this evening. I'm honored. It's been a pleasure having you all and talking to you. You've made my Sunday evening really super. I think I can now go because my husband is home. So I have to call it a night and go and attend to it too.
Priorities.
Oh, yes. Very important. Priority.
Yeah, thank you so much, Auntie Sandra, for having us. I mean, thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, everything that you gave us. We have taken notes, and we will connect with you. I will connect. My basic world is LinkedIn, and I'm sure when Christabel Odonko connects with you, it's me. I'll connect with you there, and hope to keep the relationship going on and the knowledge sharing going on. We really love you for your time. Please, all of us, please say hello to your husband for us and all the kids. We extend our greetings. And please say a very big thank you to him as well for allowing you to have time with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, y'all have a beautiful evening. God bless you. God keep you. God protect you. God make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Have a blessed and glorious week. I love you all.
Amen.
Thank you to all of you. We've come to the end of Career and Love Affairs Conference tonight. We hope we'll continue this session in another grand finale. Thank you to God for how far he has brought us. And thank you to our speaker for tonight. May God richly bless you and your family.
Thank
Spending
you.
most of your time with us tonight. And also to our beautiful Christabel, God bless you so much. I owe you a lot.
Amen.
And to
Amen.
AJ, I know I owe you so much. As for you, I can't even pay you. And Cynthia, you've surprised me. Despite you have your ongoing live session, you always make time for this particular event. God bless you so much, Cynthia. I really appreciate you so much. And to all those who are